Hey everyone, appreciate you all being here at USA Crypto Group for this AMS session. Today we have a project called Vector Coin. The mission is to create a secure, efficient, and inclusive financial ecosystem that leverages the power of the blockchain technology to provide accessible, affordable, and financial services to everyone, regardless of their geographic locations or economic status. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome Criminal from the team. Criminal, thanks for being here. If you can start out introducing yourself, talking about your team, and giving us a bit of insight into your background experience.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's actually Jason. Pleasure, Jason Ansel. I'm co-founder of VSG. VSC is our layer one blockchain. VSG is our official native coin for the chain. It's currently on Ethereum, and we will be migrating to VSC when it's ready. As far as my background goes, I have come from a digital marketing background. I've had a couple of digital marketing agencies. I worked a lot in the entertainment sector. Crypto has always been a hobby of mine. I'm also a full stack dev, so I love tinkering and playing around on the blockchain. I used to run when I started back before Bitcoin Cash. I was running like Dogecoin faucets and that type of thing, and slowly got into dApp development and all kinds of other stuff. I met our co-founder through actually a meme coin project that we had both invested in, and we kind of came up with a plan to launch something. And that over time also evolved. Initially, we were going to be building a layer two, and it evolved into this layer one that we now have, which is called Vector.
Appreciate the introduction there, Jason. I mean, it seems like you came from an extensive crypto background, which is awesome to see. Now, reading through your technical paper and your white paper, whatever you want to call it, it seems to me that you kind of recognize the trilemma within the blockchain currently that we have going on, right? Which is the security, the scalability, and the decentralization. And it seems to me is that part of the reason why you was that inspire you to uh creating for you guys to create this layer one right now? Is that part of the reason?
I think the intentions are always different with different people and different projects. A lot of projects I find are very financially orientated. They're concerned about numbers and money and that type of thing. Being an investor myself, being a developer myself, I've always wanted to create things that are useful for the users, and also things that are safe, obviously. And I like to incorporate educational components to different things that we do, and just creating more awareness for everybody that's coming in and that's new to crypto. That's been a big objective of ours always, is to try to onboard people that aren't maybe familiar with crypto and blockchain, and get them interested, and give them a place where we're building right now. Is we're trying to build a safe place that's easy to use and has seamless integration, so that the people that are versed in crypto and blockchain will enjoy using our products, and also that we can continue to onboard new people into the community.
So yeah, one of the some of the biggest problem that we have going on right now, especially with Ethereum, is with which was crazy because this is what you guys are solving exactly what the issue is going on right now. Uh, so right now you guys trying to solve the transaction fees, scalability, security, and also just to bring the financial inclusivity to the masses. And that's pretty much what's happening right now. The issue is happening right now on Ethereum, right? You see a lot of limitations and constraint, and that's the reason why you have a lot of people building their own layer one and trying to solve this issue. And I feel like you guys are doing that. That's exactly right. You guys are doing it. Um, Now let's go back for a little bit. What really inspired you guys, right? Because like you said, you guys started out with layer two, and you guys face a bunch of limitations. Now you guys want to build a layer one. What was really like that factor that really inspired you to say, you know what? we can do a lot better than what Ethereum layer one is doing right now.
Yeah, so there's actually a variety of catalysts that made us make the switch from building the layer two into building a layer one. One is that we onboarded some amazing backend developers that came over from the Lunaterra. They were there helping to kind of fix the debacle that they had. So very security oriented mindsets, and just extremely talented individuals. We were then looking at different options with interoperability with Cosmos and EVM. Being a layer two on Ethereum, it definitely has limitations, right? So it made sense for us to move to layer one solution. We were also in talks with different enterprise businesses, and through looking at some of the needs and some of the gaps that are out there right now with technology and integration into real world business, we decided to go with the layer one solution because we're able to then roll out layer twos, layer threes, roll ups, private networks, and things that we can build in order to satisfy the gaps that are out there in the business world. Because it's important right now. There are some businesses that are starting to get involved into crypto and tokenization, and there's obviously a lot of talk around real world assets and DePIN and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of opportunity there, and I think the timing of our development and our strategy, it just everything kind of aligns to send us into that direction. And also, we have some unique things that we were trying to develop that kind of didn't work as well with the layer two. So we have the first layer one blockchain with a non-variable gas fee. We have a flat rate gas fee, which I think is, something spectacular for the space in general, for investors to be able to calculate ins and outs on, their investments and things like that, but also for business to be able to operate. The variable gas and variable rates for fees and things just don't work because they're not able to calculate their projections. They're not able to calculate their overhead and costs and things if it's constantly changing, right? So having that flat rate fee allows us to go into that enterprise space and go into that DePIN space with something that's actually usable and moldable for what they need, right? So yeah, it's a fun it's a bit of a ongoing experiment, you could say, because nobody's kind of done it before. And for us as a development team, it's fun and exciting to create something that's new. And I think people have tried to do this in the past, but they haven't been able to accomplish it. We have it working now. We have it tested. Our public test net's up actually live right now. We're in the process of setting up some hackathons and things with that and getting some dApp deployment on there so that people can start onboarding and using the public test net and, see, and then they'll get a chance to see how that $4 flat rate fee works, see how those differences in the transactions, it's something that's like kind of groundbreaking, especially in the blockchain space for sure.
It is, and I've never seen it, right? We've done probably thousands of AMAs now, and we've done a lot of projects trying to build layer one as well, trying to solve this trilemma within the blockchain. And I've never seen a project that actually has a fixed gas fee, which is $4, which we will go in depth into that, right, later during this AMA here. Uh, and I'd like to, in this format right here, Jason, I'd like to really go in depth, right, one by one, so that way our community understand why you guys building this layer one compared to what is going on today, right? But before we do that, because your project's already live already, I'd like to get some of the basic things out of the way first, okay? So your V1, when was it launched?
So the V1 was launched back in the middle of December. We did a pink sale, pre-sale for that. We had some great success along the way. A lot of trials and tribulations, and you go through ups and downs. I believe we were close to 45 million or something with the market cap on that. But the thing was, it's because we had originally come as a layer 2 on an EVM. The name of our token, for one, was Vitalik Smart Gas and Vitalik Smart Chain, which was an ode to the Ethereum creator, and making that transition to a layer 1 and then becoming a competitor, we had to go through a rebranding phase. That's the reason we have the V2 now. When we did pull the liquidity on the V1, I think we were at around 7 million or so. So, only in the short period since going back live with the V2, we've already seen a major increase there. But yeah, that's it's been a long road, right? And through that whole V1 stage, we were in development, right? So it was kind of hard to get people to understand and see our vision, and without having that end product there. But now I think with the new rebranded V2, and now that we have the public testnet up and we have like nearing the ending of our development stage with the layer 1, it's a lot more organic, trying to get the community understanding like where we're going, because they can actually see things that are going on with business. It's
Looks like we're losing you there a bit there,
actually a
Jason.
lot easier for us to present to them because we have a product to show them. So there's, oh, I apologize. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we
Can you
can hear
hear
you
me now?
now.
Oh, okay, yeah, I apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, there's been it's been quite a while that we've been at it, like hammering away. But like I said, like now we're extremely excited because we do have that product there, and we do have the ending of our development stage coming. Our community has been growing substantially. I think just even over the last 48 hours, there's like an additional 1,000 people or something like that in our Telegram channel. So, people are really catching on with the V2 more so than they were when we were branded originally with the V1. So yeah, it's I think overall a great success making the move with the new brand and the new contract, and heading in that direction to the finality of launching that end product with our layer 1 solution.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys had like you mentioned there 45 million on V1, and you guys now at V2, which is sitting at 13 million. But at the time of the merge, it was 7 million on V1. So that tells me that you have a lot of believers over in your community, because your chart is looking really, really good currently. Now, because you had launched the product already and now you're V2, uh, are there any vesting tokens left that the community should be aware of?
No, there's so we have a certain number of tokens that are allotted to the project growth. So whether that's set aside for CX listings or other scenarios, that's pretty much everything is out there. We will be publishing a tokenomics spreadsheet and page after the weekend, so that will be live and available. Everybody will be able to see where the tokens are allotted to and that kind of thing. As far as our holders are awesome. I can't say anything more about them. They're like super chads. These guys a lot of them have been there since December. They've brought in friends and family, into the project after learning about the project and the developers and our team. They have a lot of faith and put a lot of trust in us. So we like to make sure that we work hard for them. We've been readily available pretty much every single day in our Telegram community for any questions and things like that. And yeah, these guys are like super supporters of the project, and I'm actually really happy that that's the type of holder that we have, right? Because we're a utility project, and it's hard sometimes in a meme market to get that point across, and you get the investors that are kind of there for a quick flip sometimes, and it's not easy, you know, for people to put their money into something and then, you know, have to wait such a long period of time for a final project or a final product. But we like to kind of compare, you know, this is like buying into Ethereum before Ethereum mainnet went live, you know, so we're creating a substantial opportunity also for everybody, you know, to come and get in on the ground floor of this groundbreaking layer one.
No, definitely, definitely. Right within the community, I mean the blockchain space. Naturally, people just like to jump from one token to the other, right? The most shinier token, right? Uh, but now let's go back to the vesting tokens. Now, there's no pre-sale or private sale investors that have tokens that could be released anytime soon, correct?
No, there's all the tokens were released at launch. We did a one-to-one airdrop with our previous holders. So yeah, there's none of that stuff. Uh, like I said, we do have a large portion of tokens that are held back for future use with listings and that type of thing. But yeah, there's no vested tokens anymore.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Besides of course, the team tokens and operations tokens. So those are understandable. Awesome. Thank you for those that information there, because I think that's actually very important for any community to know whether there's team whether there's KOLs, the team allocated to some sort of KOLs or private tokens that could be released anytime soon, right? So I'd like to get that info out of the way because I think that's very, very important. Yeah, thanks for that there, Jason. All
For
right, so
sure.
now let's go to the technicality about why are you bidding a layer one, right? So before we go in depth on your objectives and your utilities and all that, let's talk about what you see, like what you guys are seeing right now as far as the limitations on your Ethereum and the constraints of it, right? Then will lead to what are you guys building, trying to solve that problem. So I guess my question for you right now is the challenges on your Ethereum right now, the limitation and constraints. What are you seeing right now? What are the problems that you're seeing right now, and what are you guys doing to solve that?
Yeah, so there's like obviously the big one for us is the variable fees and the constant fluctuation between gas prices. In a bull run, we've seen Ethereum go up past a few $100s, to make a single transaction. That's obviously not a place where everybody's able to go and trade and invest in projects just because of that fact. So there is financial constraints with operating on Ethereum, compared to other chains. We also, with the flat rate fee, like we made it $4 because we also don't want it to be too low, right? We want it to be a little bit up there so that it's being utilized like by the right type of investors and things like that. We don't want a scenario where we're turning into a meme coin blockchain and people just launching tens of thousands of contracts on a daily basis. That is not what we're going for. We want to be a kind of a more organized, a little bit of a better place for people to come and launch projects and build communities and that type of thing. So I think by having that at that rate, it kind of hits that target with us. There's a lot of scalability issues. There's as you know, a lot of people are rolling out layer ones, layer twos, layer threes, ZK rollups. There's a lot of, out of the box, you can kind of just hit a button and launch a blockchain. But none of these really work for what the industries out there need, right? Like when we look at the DPIN space, when we look at the RWA space, when we look at enterprise, these are all real world businesses and corporations and things like that that have all their own procedures already running. They have all their financial flows and workflows all running, and for them to look at even integrating into technology and blockchain, for instance, it's a huge undertaking for these businesses and companies, and it's a very costly experience for them. So, the having to sift through all the garbage that's out there, you could say, is a little depleting, I think, and that's part of the problem why it's taken so long to get enterprise and get these businesses interested in blockchain, just because it's so convoluted and diluted everywhere. It's hard to find out what works and what doesn't work. So we're trying to build something from the ground floor by deconstructing the way that enterprise and these businesses work, and kind of working back and building a solution that's going to work for them, that's going to integrate with them. So there's there in that sense, with the scalability, we're really looking to get into these real world businesses that are out there, and get them excited about using blockchain and utilizing ledger and things like that for data and record keeping purposes, or whatever the case is. For there's literally a million things that can be done with a single business in integration with blockchain. So we're trying to hit all those points, and when we're building our product, we've been consciously developing something that's going to work for all these people.
I agree 100%, and I always say that, the transaction fees for Ethereum right now is very hard to get adoption on Ethereum and have it as a payment solution. The reason is because, again, like you mentioned there, right, the transaction is way too high. You got the congestion, sometimes $50, $60. Now you have to remember that many parts of the world, I mean, these guys are making like $7 a month. So there's no way to get adoption with Ethereum as a payment solution, right? And so that's why you see a lot of developers like yourself there trying to solve this problem. And so I think it is very necessary to solve these issues here. Uh, so you mentioned there that you guys gonna have a fixed fee of $4, which I have never seen before. I used to do a lot of transactions, right? Go to the bank and make payment at the bank and send money to China. It cost me $65 per transaction, and it takes 2 weeks just to get it settled, right, through the bank. So with $4, especially with the people that do big, transfer big money, that's going to be I think that's a game changer. So what you're telling me that it doesn't matter how much money I move, it will still cost me $4 fixed flat rate. Am I hear that correctly?
Yeah, that's correct. And just touch on another point, with Ethereum and that kind of stuff, and these layer twos, and we were originally rolling out that layer two solution. A lot of the financial institutions and things are looking towards things that are built on Cosmos and in that network. So having that interoperability between both EVM and Cosmos is also a huge benefactor for us. And that comes down to when we're talking about things like cross-border payment settlements. So it's like you mentioned, there's people in all different parts of the world, right? And they all have their own financial systems and their own economies and things like that. And some of them aren't as strong as what we see here in North America or in Europe, So we want to make sure that it's something that is accessible for everybody. So that $4 flat rate fee, when we look at, say, a North American market, that's similar to any sort of ATM transaction fee or banking fee. It's pretty much in that same realm. It's also affordable to people who are trading in these remote areas and stuff that can't afford to trade on Ethereum. So we're trying to make blockchain more accessible and more usable. So that's mostly the reasoning behind it.
Right. And you guys are using sharding as part of your as part of the I guess to solve that transaction volume, correct? And if you can go in depth on that as well and how it works, so
Yeah,
that way. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's going to be quite a few options, right? Not only with the sharding, but the ability to roll out the layer twos will alleviate some of that congestion and traffic that we have on our main network. Then also we have the ability to roll out private networks for enterprise solutions and things like that. So it's all about scalability when it comes to that type of thing, and building something that's able to grow and expand and have different platforms that we're able to roll out to put that traffic and put those congestion points through, so that we're not overloading our network and able to keep those transaction speeds down and have a lot of users on our platform at one time. So it's definitely an important part when it comes to that scaling.
Exactly, exactly. So sharding, in a way, I guess the best analogy to I guess give is kind of like the freeway, right? So right now you have literally Ethereum is usually having everything in one lane, right? So the freeway has, so sharding is literally breaking it down to like 5, 6 lanes, right? And they're all individually operated with their own regulations, their own rules, but the same with the same purpose of moving traffic through, right? So you break it down to little, I guess, little lanes or little pieces
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
a
And
great analogy. Actually, it is exactly like that. And you have your on ramps and off ramps, and that's exactly what it looks like.
exactly. So it's actually pretty smart way, and it's a great way to increase the volume, because then you can break things down and have each little pieces working together, but at the same time individually. So it's a great way to utilize that. Now, as far as the security issues, right? So now you're dealing with financial institutions. You guys scaling this up. So let's talk about the security issues. What are you guys doing as far as the security go?
Yeah, so that's kind of something that we have to take step by step. Like I mentioned previously, our backend developers are coming from, the Lunatera, where they were there to helping kind of re-secure the chain, and building that security layer. When they've been developing our backend with VSC, they've had that mindset. They've been, building all that stuff into the coding. We have obviously a bunch of different stuff, throughout the ecosystem. So, for example, our token contract for VSG is undergoing a CertTech audit right now. We're looking at other auditing options when it comes to auditing the chain and auditing our contracts and things like that. And then also we have some people that are on the team, that we have people in the background that are going to be doing a lot of stress testing and things like that. And to satisfy the need of enterprise and, either government institutions or military complex or all these different sectors that we're looking at, that security is number one with them, right? So we need to have something that's, going to appeal to them. So obviously, we have to undergo all these different things, and it's like a step-by-step basis. As we get to each point, we do all these undertakings. So the first step that we've done right now is, like I mentioned, we're undergoing the CertTech audit with the actual token contract, and then moving forward from there, and then we'll start with the chain auditing and all that kind of stuff. We have some hackathons and bug bounty programs that are going to be going on as well. So those things also help, secure the chain and bring up any issues that we might have that we need to adjust or fix or things like that before putting that main net live and just letting everybody at it.
Right. Now, one of your main objectives is to really hit these financial institutions, right? So when you guys are hitting this financial institution, which I think is going to be really big if you get the adoptions. So that comes with regulatory compliance. Uh, what is your take on that, and what are you guys doing anything about that issue?
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to that, it's all about our corporate structure and what's going on in the background with our team and the members that we're onboarding. We have a gentleman, Oz Sultan. He's a delegate for the Republicans in New York. He's connected very well in that government area, and we're right on toe with all these regulations and policies that are coming. We have legal advisors, that are there to help us and guide us along the way. And like anything with technology, those regulations and things are going to be constantly changing. Even right now, there's some stuff with the SEC around NFTs and classifying them as securities. We do have an NFT collection. We have certain way we're distributing rewards to holders to alleviate any sort of problems that could arise from having them classified as such. So we have to constantly kind of keep that roadmap in flux and fluid, and move along and adjust as these things come into play. We can't really predict the future. We can look a little ahead. We can see what's going on in the space and have our ears to the ground, right? But until these things actually come into play, there's like I said, it's something that we have to keep fluid with.
100%. I think flu is the right word, right? I mean, it's a very complex topic there, right? Especially with Gary Gensler in the office. What is your take on Trump saying that he will fire Gary Gensler the first day if he's in office?
Oh, that's I'll cut a cake for that day. That's the and it's
100%. I agree with you.
yeah, it's something that's like not been easy to digest at times, I guess, with all the different things that they've been trying to do, and the court cases that have been going on. And it seems that once people become successful, like the stuff with CZ even recently, it puts a target on them, right? So it would be nice if there was policymakers and things that are there that are understanding of the future and the future of the technology and the utilization of the technology, and are accommodating for that rather than just trying to go after it all the time. So yeah, it would be great to see some change for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be too, just to be have that, I guess, more clear directions, right, of what we can do, what we cannot do. Um, but at the same time, when I think about what, I definitely want Gary Gensler to get fired and Trump in the office for sure, right? Because that's how crypto is going to move forward. But what is your take on, or do you have any concerns of, let's say, Trump's in the office and everything will be regulated, where there's no more decentralization? Have you thought about that? And what's your take on that, brother? Because that's something that's been on my mind, and I'm like, I don't know where to go with that.
Well, I have to look what's going on in the entire space in general. I've attended a few conferences recently. I've been speaking with a lot of people at corporations and different blockchain companies and lawyers and things like that. And these discussions come up a lot, right? But we have people that are championing for blockchain, and they're championing for the technology. So they're out there speaking, they're out there trying to make a change and make difference. There is like large legal teams that are out there and trying to, put forth the proper legislation and advise people that are in the place to create those rules and things, of how things should be set up. So I think that's something that we just kind of have to wait for. It is becoming obviously more widely adopted, more widely accepted. That is part of the major reason that we're making this entrance and going to be going so hard into that RWA, DPIN, and enterprise sector, because these things are starting to now come into place. And you have companies like Oracle and different SAPs and large manufacturers and things like that that are all working together. Companies like Hyperledger, that are doing a lot of amazing work in the blockchain space, and trying to work towards like that open source network. And these things are all very exciting. And blockchain and crypto has been around for a little bit now, but it's still in its infancy. So as the time goes and these things all come into play. It's something that's going to become more widely adopted, more used, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. So it's kind of like you can't stop a freight train, right? Like you could get one policymaker go try to stand in front of the train, right? It's not going to go well.
100%. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Trump will I guess move forward with these. Because the thing is that yes, we do like it to be. I guess we do like to have a clear regulations, right? So that way we know what we can do, what not. But to find a balance between regulated and also decentralizations, right? Man, that's going to be a tough one to solve. It's going to be very tough to solve.
Well, and the other thing around that, right, is that it all depends on the geography. So, like for
Mhm.
instance, I'm in Canada, so they can make all the rules they want in America, but until it's adopted the same in Canada, it makes no difference for me, right? Whether you're in the Philippines or Nigeria or all South America, all these different places have started to widely adopt crypto and are trying to get away from that peer-to-peer experience and get away from the decentralization and turning it into something that's centralized. And it's not such a bad thing if it incorporates the decentralization, if you still have the freedom and the ability to do things peer-to-peer, because that's what crypto is all about, right? It's about peer-to-peer transactions and being able to do things without being having somebody look over your shoulder or whatever, right? But obviously, as individuals that live in societies that are regulated by laws and taxes and regulations, this it's a hard balance for sure. But I'm sure, like I said, over time these things will kind of balance themselves out, and the adoption's there.
100%. And I will be paying attention very closely. I know Trump is launching his own project here. I can't remember the name right now, but they're actually getting ready to launch an official project. So that's going to be very interesting to see how, what the project's about and how that, the layout of it. And because I think he's trying to tie everything back to his project. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but I just heard about it. I looked a little bit into it, but they've been talking about it. Very actively been talking about it. So in talking about, you just mentioned about just depending on the world and where where you live and accessibility, etc. I know that one of your main objectives is to promote financial inclusion, not just for the financial institution, but also just for the regular, the regular investor, the regular people, all over the world. How are you guys approaching that? How are you guys approaching the promotions? It seems like it's a big task to to achieve, right? Going out there and market to these people, say, hey, we have a layer one blockchain. There's a $4 fixed rate, and trying to really reach the masses. What is your plan on that, on promotion on that?
Yeah, so that's a multi-part solution. There's, depending again geographically where you are, there's different mechanisms that are in place there already, say for how to transact with people. An example is I've spoken with some people in the Philippines, in the government there, and they have you know power outages and they have water shutoffs and all these different things. So they want to have like some sort of alerting system, right? But then the second fold of that is that the majority of the people that pay the bills actually live out of the country, and they send the money into family members, or they send money, through wires or whatever the case is, so that their family members can pay their bills locally. If we could have something, where it's accessible by anybody in the world, and you're able to transact and send people money back and forth instantly, able to do bill settlements and different things like that. From, say, if you're in the States, you can pay your aunt's hydro bill or something in the Philippines, or whatever the case is. That's going to be a huge benefit, obviously, for people in all these different regions. Also creating onboarding and offboarding strategies for fiat and different things, being able to trade different types of currency, obviously, back and forth. There's so many different aspects to it. but it's about, there's people out there that can't get bank accounts. There's people out there that don't have access to Cash App. There's people out there that just don't have the resources that they need. So if we have whether it's a walleting solution or something that's readily available for them to access and be able to send money back and forth, or get funds without having to go through all the debacle of the local issues, economic issues, or whatever that's taking place, then it's just going to benefit everybody in these regions.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I love crypto just for the fact you just mentioned there, right? I mean, anybody can participate, in the blockchain, right? It doesn't matter where you live. It could be the poorest corner in Vietnam, China, or whatever, right? So that's beautiful. Um, so one of the things that I saw that's actually really interesting, stood out to me, is that you have this kind of very unique, I guess I won't say unique, but a lot of emphasis on this feature here, which is the hyper-deflationary, uh, I guess, tokenomic, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the incentive of the tokenomics, and also about the hyper-deflationary mechanism.
Yeah, so that all comes back to that $4 flat rate fee. So what we do is we actually take that fee, and it gets distributed in various ways. So with the burn mechanism, we have $1 from every transaction that takes place on chain is being sent to an Oracle pool, and then that is going to burn those tokens. So the hyper-deflationary part of it is like, every time somebody is transacting on chain, that's $1 worth of tokens that's going to get burned, right? So that's something that we think is quite substantial. One, for just the amount that we've allotted, but two, it's going to create a strong ecosystem. It's going to drive the value of the coin up. It's going to do a lot of stuff, right? We also have portions that go towards our NFT holders, and some other reward tokens that we have, and portion goes to the actual maintenance and development of the chain, marketing. So it becomes a self-propelled engine that's going to be able to self-sustain. There is surplus there also to be able to utilize for the future development and growth and things. So it's all about how we do it, because we're, as developers and as founders of a project, I think a lot of people are kind of money hungry, and look at their own financial growth rather than the growth of the project and the growth of the ecosystem. Like, for example, we just took a portion of the fees that come for the owners and gave those to another group of NFT holders. So we're not out there to make a buck. We're out there to build, and I think that's a huge bonus for the entire project overall, because we're able to put these funds in and utilize them where they need to go, which is with our holders and with our community members, and with the actual project, rather than going to our bank accounts or to buy us a yacht or a Lambo or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Right. Could you elaborate on the NFT a little bit more there, Jason? Now, like, because I know that you have staking rewards as well. Now, does that tie to the staking rewards? You have to buy an NFT, or can you go in depth on that?
Yeah. So yeah, we did have our staking DApp was up and live for quite a while. A lot of our holders got to benefit off that in terms of accumulation and things over time. That was more so there during our development stage. We've since taken off the staking, and that's to allow for wider token distribution to new holders and things like that. But yeah, the NFTs, we have 4 tiers of NFTs: diamond, carbon, green, and gold. Very limited collections. Our diamond, there was only 25. We sold out within the first 24 hours of that one. Public mint price for those is 4 ETH. We have the carbons, 150 that were available. We sold out of those. They were 1.2 ETH each. Right now, our greens, there's 350 greens. I think we're almost sold out of those. I don't think there's much left. And the it's funny. The FOMO is the word, right? FOMO has been kicking in because they've been literally flying out the door the last few days. And our gold, which has 1,000, each tier gets you a certain amount of reward that's distributed again through our various Oracle pools. You'd have to do nothing, just hold the NFT. But it also gets you access to different groups for each level. So we have a diamond group, a carbon group, a green group. Those are limited. Obviously, you have to hold an NFT to be put in those groups. And, each group has its own different benefits, whether it's, different types of announcements or early project announcements or things like that. They like to call them alpha groups. So there's a lot of holder benefits with the NFTs, and obviously, the big benefit is that they are going to be receiving portions of transactions that happen on chain that go to those pools and get distributed to the different groups. So it's a very, very large ecosystem that we've been putting together. There's lots of different entry points for you to get involved in our project, whether you're a token holder, an NFT holder. When our chain's operating, we're looking at validators and different types of opportunities that are going to be there for people. So yeah, there's lots of different stuff going on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys did a very good job at really strategize the tokenomics for sure. You have the deflationary side, which ultimately increase the value of the token. Then you have other great incentives like the NFTs and I guess liquidity mining and like so how do the governance participation? I know you guys have a DAO. Now, how does that work? Are you holding the NFTs or are you holding the tokens? How do you get to participate in the
So
DAO?
yeah, so the DAO is something that's going to come later down the road when the mainnet's operational. We haven't officially announced in our main group, so I don't want to kind of allude to anything now during this AMA, but it is something that is being put in place for certain aspects of operations that are going to take place down the line.
Sounds great. Sounds great. And you mentioned that you guys are going through a CertTech audit right now, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I believe in our Telegram channel, there's actually a pinned post there. If anybody's in our Telegram channel, you can go and make a vote for us. It allows us to get some additional services and certifications for the project and for our team members. So, it's extremely helpful for us to have these partnerships with companies like CertTech and others that are coming on board with us because, it allows the general public and people out there to see that we've put forth the effort to establish these partnerships and go through these rigorous tests and things like that to make sure that we have a product that is safe and is secure and acknowledged as such to the general public as well.
Right, right. I think having a CertTech audit now, it's not 100% proof, but I think that is like the mother of all the audits, right? The auditors out there. So I think that's
Yeah,
very important. I think it's going to
yeah,
bring
and it's
another
not
leg
going to
of
be
growth.
it's definitely not going to be our only company that we're working with. There are others that are going to be coming on board, but it's because the crypto space. A lot of people call it the Wild West, right? And it's hard to figure out which projects to trust and which ones not to trust, which developers to trust, which not to trust. We've been around, grinding every day for several months now, and it wouldn't make sense for us not to put forth the effort to get everything done properly when we've worked so hard to obtain and get to where we are now.
Yeah, yeah, I think you guys really strategized this. You know, you guys really thought of every single angle and really strategized the tokenomics, man. I really see it. And you have the incentives, right, for the holders and the NFTs, but also the tokens, but also you have that deflationary side of it. I think is very important. But most importantly is that you guys are not relying on the taxes only, right? So I think
Yeah,
that's crucial.
that's something that I think that's something too that's important to point out is that our token is zero tax. Initially, when we had our V1 at the beginning, we had a small marketing tax to kind of build up a little bit of funds to help us along with development and marketing costs. Once we reached a threshold where we were able to manage, we immediately removed that. So we are zero tax now. There's, no financial incentive for us for people trading token. Obviously, we also don't want the token cost to be higher than what it should be. So it's important to us to have that zero tax product. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you guys are on your Ethereum blockchain currently, right?
Yeah, currently it is a ERC20 contract. It's on Ethereum. Right now, it's available for trade on Uniswap. It's also in Coin Store, which is a CX, a tier 2. And then, as mentioned earlier, we have Ascendex, which is our first tier 1 listing. Went live yesterday. And they actually just ranked number 9 yesterday for top crypto exchanges. So we're very excited about that. It's also opened up a lot of opportunities with other exchanges that are now in discussion with us. So it looks like we could have some more tier 1s coming very soon in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see where you guys are going with this, and you guys are putting a lot of emphasis on trying to get this adoption, right? On-chain transaction, cross-border payments, e-commerce, and financial institution. That's huge. That's huge. And I think, like you mentioned earlier there, Jason, I think that, we are very early, man. We are very early. And I think if you
Yeah.
guys really push this through, and the space does need a project like this where the gas fee is cheap, it's easy to use, especially financial institution where they can literally able to calculate, how much it's going to cost me to send this much amount of money, which is $4 flat, which is that's actually going to be, incredible there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people might not be aware, but uh, from my standpoint, and looking at it from an investor standpoint, it's an opportunity right now to accumulate, right? When we do obviously reach a higher market cap and we're on these other tier 1 exchanges and we're going towards that mainnet launch, we have expectations of what our market cap needs to be at to be able to do that. We have the marketing and initiatives in place to be able to put us there, so right now is a huge accumulation opportunity for people, because when the mainnet does go live, every single project that goes on there is going to be utilizing VSG for their liquidity, right? They're going to be, every single transaction that takes place is utilizing VSG. Every single trade and stuff that goes on place is utilizing VSG. So when it comes, you talk about the adoption, right? And it's like all the projects that are, and all the investors and all the businesses that are utilizing our chain are all going to be adopting the token, right? Which at that point, is obviously the scarcity is there. Again, with our burn mechanism, that also creates scarcity in the deflationary model. So it's going to be harder and harder as time goes on to obtain a certain number of tokens, right? That being said, like when projects do start launching, on our chain, the people that have been accumulating and have been hodling, they're going to then have the opportunity to invest in these projects, and their holdings are going to be worth a substantial amount more than when they obtain them, right? So imagine as a trader when you buy ETH at say like $2,000, and then all of a sudden it's $3,500. You're able to get a lot more bang for your buck. So the opportunities obviously, are going to be coming down the road when the mainnet's up with a lot of things. There's going to be yield farming and staking, all kinds of different DeFi programs and solutions that are going to be on there, obviously, and normally, at the beginning, those APRs and things are pretty substantial. So I foresee a lot of opportunity for holders for sure.
Right. And I love the natural progression of your project, right? You guys initially just launching on a layer two, and as you guys are working onto the project, you saw the limitation, the constraints of what's happening in the blockchain. Then you pretty much just say, you know what, we're gonna solve this issue, and I love that, right? And that's how business should be. But it also tells me that you guys are very serious on it because you guys wouldn't try to go ahead and solve this, very massive task actually. So I like the story. I love the natural progression. I think every business should have the same mindset. Uh, Always solving problem, always trying to improve, right? And that's what you guys are doing.
1,000%. And we're not doing it selfishly either. We're doing it to create a better environment for the people using the space, right? That's our major intention. Is we want things to be seamless. Obviously, there's going to be a huge educational component also, because we want people to be informed. Even when people come in and are like, oh, like they're just buying the token, it's like, I really wish you would go and read the white paper first. I wish you would like come into the community and ask questions and all that kind of thing before just like throwing your money at the wall, right? Because it's just important to do that, like in any stance. Like, you wouldn't go take money out from the bank and invest in some random stock, right? Like, you would look into it, you would look at the company, you would want to know like how it's performing. You know what I mean? So I think from our standpoint, it's more so about education and, again, creating that seamless environment, bringing new people onto the blockchain and into crypto, and more widespread adoption, and more of that peer-to-peer presence as well. So yeah, there's so many different angles that we have to look at when putting something like this together. But really, the reality of it is we're just trying to create a good product, that people are going to use, and it's going to be easy to access no matter where you are in the world.
Right. And, I always invest in the people, right? Not necessarily the concept, the idea of the project. And so it's actually really awesome that you're the co-founder, and not just a co-founder, unlike other projects out there. They will usually hire a developer or whatever out there, right? A third party, but you actually are a developer yourself, right? You have been in the space for a long time. You have been building the space as well. So that's like in-house, right? So you walk the talk, and that's actually very
Yeah,
important when you're trying to achieve this type of level of success, right? Or you're trying to build something like this, is because you cannot 100% rely on a third party without any sort of knowledge, right? So I think that's very crucial.
we literally started back in December with a team of two, right? So you can imagine. I
Yeah.
believe there's 17 or 18 of us now in the background, but and that's been growing also constantly. That's not including, all the different people that we have now coming and helping support with marketing efforts and things like that. But yeah, the team it was just me and the other co-founder, and it's we had a vision, and we have the gusto to kind of push through and make it happen. And we're really no nonsense kind of people too, right? So we don't let things get in our way or slow us down. We just keep pushing through every day, and I think that's what it comes down to, is just about literally showing up every day and continuing to build something that you actually believe in, right?
100%. All right, guys, to sum it up, right? So the objectives of the team is to solve transaction costs, right? The limitation on Ethereum right now. Scalability, that's also a limitation in Ethereum right now. Security also, right? So the work on security as well. But I think they're putting a lot of emphasis on getting the adoption for financial inclusion. I think that's going to be very huge there. Is that pretty accurate to say that those are the objectives there, Jason?
Yeah, and also, for people to have fun. Like, obviously, we're also going to have all the traditional crypto and DeFi stuff, and meme coins and launch pads and that kind of thing. because that's what it boils down to. I'm in this space because it's fun for me. I've been here for so long because I enjoy myself. I enjoy it. I like what I'm doing. I like, spending time and getting to meet people from all over the world. I've met so many people over the years just being in Telegram, that have now become close friends of mine and are also like heavily involved in the crypto space. So it's about fun too, right? And building relationships and getting to know people outside your normal circle.
100%. Where else in the world that you can actually engage with people internationally in one place, right? Just like Telegram. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sounds good, brother. Well, very well articulated, Jason. I think we have a pretty good understanding what you guys are trying to accomplish, and I think your business model is actually very clear. If you guys have not read the white paper or the technical paper, I encourage everyone to go on there and read it. I think they did a heck of a job laying out, what the problems that they're seeing and what they're solving and how they're solving these, right? So I think that's actually very necessary when you actually write a technical paper, especially for a project of this magnitude, right? Trying to really solve issues in the space. But it's very easy to understand, very well put together. So yeah, go read the white paper, check out the website, join the TG. Man, I
Yeah,
think we could pretty
if
much
anybody,
cover everything there, Jay. Did we miss anything?
yeah, no, just if anybody does have any questions, do please join us in our Telegram. It's our most active channel. A lot of our long-term holders are in there. They're very helpful when it comes to guiding new members. We're also, myself and Whitaker are readily available most of the time for any questions that people might have about the project. So yeah, VSG portal on Telegram.
And we will pin that, talk about the questions here. I'm going to go through the banner. Usually on the comments section, we usually get a bunch of questions here from the community, and we post that like 6 hours ahead. I know that we're trying to do an AMA the other day, and that didn't work out. But let me go through the questions really quick here and see and read off some of the questions. And I know that during the AMA, we usually answer like 90% of the questions already, but I'm going to go ahead and find a couple here. So let me scroll up really quick here. Okay, so we touched on this already, but the question is from Mike. He asked, what does he goes, can you explain how the hyper-deflationary feature of the VSG token works in simple terms? Yeah, let's just elaborate on that for the people that may not really
Yeah,
have knowledge of what deflationary
in
is.
the most simple terms, $1 from every transaction that takes place on chain goes to burning VSG token. So you can imagine if we have 10,000 transactions a day on chain, that's $10,000. If we have 100,000 transactions a day, that's $100,000. If we have 500,000 transactions a day, that's $500,000. That's going to be essentially burnt on a daily basis. So uh, as the adoption of the chain picks up, that's going to continue to grow. At some point, obviously, it will become, kind of hard to even spend that much money to buy the tokens. So down the line, we will look at adjusting that number and maybe taking a portion and utilizing it for liquidity provision or whatever the case is. But we are going to be putting a ton of money into burning this token. So very, very exciting. We have already done a burn when we launched the V2. We burned 0.5% on launch. So, we've already started.
Right, just to touch what Jason mean by burning is that you literally buy the token, right, and put it like burn it, like there's no more. You take away the total supply, right? So imagine you have 100 tokens, and slowly you go in there for five tokens left, circulation supply left, right? So now people are fighting over 5 tokens instead of 100. So I mean the scarcity, right? So it increases the value of the tokens of the project. The question comes from Omo. Okay. Again, we touched on this already, but I think there's another thing that let's elaborate on this for him. It says, in what ways will the $4 flat gas fee impact the ecosystem's growth compared to Ethereum variable fees at the moment?
Yeah, so this is the thing why we picked this number of $4 too, right? Is there have been other layer ones that came out and their success relied on other things like capital investment or VC funding or things like that. We wanted to create a self-sustaining model where we're able to take the fees and use them for the growth of the chain and stuff. So we have allotted certain numbers, to again for the deflationary model, for our NFT holders, for development and marketing, and other overhead costs. And then we, like I mentioned, we do have a surplus to ensure that growth can continue over time.
100%. Now, this question here, I think it's kind of related to the $4, I guess, strategy there. But Gecko23 asks, what differentiates your layer one from the rest of the layer ones out there that are trying to achieve the same or trying to solve the same issue, transaction fees, securities, and other things?
Well, that comes down to a few different things, right? One is the team. I am fully behind everybody that's come on board with us and is working with us, and their abilities and the direction that they've been taking this project and helping us grow, since its inception. So that's a huge factor. Like I mentioned too, we are a smaller team. We've done all this without capital investment. We've done all this without VCs backing us. So we don't have anybody, that we're responsible to because they've given us money, which gives us a lot of ability to do things that other projects and chains and things can't do, right? And again, I come back to that $4 flat rate fee where it's like we're trying to build a self-sustaining model, and there's other layer ones and layer twos out there, that have lower gas models, but they're not able to sustain themselves with it. So eventually over time, the money starts running out and they got to start chasing more money around. And, we aren't going to have all these problems that they've encountered.
I'm glad that you mentioned the team there. I think that's actually very important there. I think the team is crucial. Last question, guys. I know there's a lot of questions on here. Okay, I'm gonna pin the TG, and you guys can go ask for the questions over there. Maybe Mike, Johnny, or Everyday is gonna go over there and pick a winner just for fun over there. Okay, but do not spam them, please. Like no stickers and all that crazy stuff. But very simple question. It says that your token is called Vector Coin. Where's the VSG I guess derived from?
Yeah, so that comes to when we went through our rebranding. Originally, we were Vitalik Smart Gas and Vitalik Smart Chain because it was a layer 2 we were building on Ethereum. After moving from the layer 2 to the layer 1 development, obviously becoming a direct competitor to Ethereum, we needed to go through that rebranding to alleviate any future constraints that might have on us, like legally or anything like that. So we did go through that, and now we are Vector. We kept with the VSC and the VSG so that our acronyms were the same. And really, it just I like the sound of it, and it's mathematical, it's graphical, so it's all the things that I think about when I think about crypto and blockchain, and I love the sound of it.
It does have a nice ring to it. All right,
Yeah,
well, guys,
make sure to also when you join us over in the TG, check out our new anthem. We have the new Vector anthem that was produced by Ricky True. He's done a lot of songs for other projects like Rock and a few other big ones. So, yeah, just come make sure you check that out too when you're in there.
you want to play it really quick on here?
I think I can I?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's figure out 1 second.
While Jason's doing that, guys, I know there's a lot of questions there, okay? But go there, ask the question, and we will pin the TG after this. So make sure you go ask your questions over there as well. Overall, guys, I think the project is on the right mission, right? They're really trying to solve real issues, right? This is not your regular memes, just with no purpose, no mission, right? These are the challenges that we have at the moment, right? The transaction fee, the congestions, the scalability. These are real issues, and the team is really trying to solve this. So I do like projects like this. It's a serious project.
I was trying to play it, but I don't think it plays through. It's all right.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Come over in Telegram and I'll post it up.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. All right, Jason, man. I think you did a heck of a job articulating the project. I think I have a really good understanding of what you guys are achieving over there, trying to achieve over there, and I think the community as well. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, just really appreciate everybody coming out today. I know it was rescheduled, so nice to see so many people joining us, and very happy to be a part of the USA Crypto Group. Love seeing that buy bot flying off in the channel too. Really, really appreciate you guys placing that in there.
Yeah, no problem. I think we because it was like I think Mike adjusted a bit because I think that we had no limit and it was just like bam, 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 one after another. So I think we
Yeah,
so I think we
yeah,
raised it up to like a few dollars up, I think.
nice, nice. Yeah, really,
But that's a good issue.
yeah, I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and pleasure to be here today, spending time with everyone.
One thing that we like to do is Jason, is that we like to award one winner on here. If you can just scroll down, brother, just pick one winner, so it's not coming from me, for a $15 award for listening. So if you can just do that for me and send me the username, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. I'll do that right now.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna post a TG. Okay, go there. I'm not. You know what? Let's just do a random number just for fun too. Okay, 1 2. I'm not sure how many listeners that we have on here, but 1 2, maybe 1 to 200. 5 guesses only. And every day Mike or somebody will pick a winner as well. Uh, Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. I know this is the second time we scheduled this. This is a lot smoother today. I have no idea what the hell happened last time, but anyway, I'm glad that we're back here. And overall, my assessment on it is I think I like the team. I always invest in the team, and I think they're solving real issues, and that's what I like about the project. And read the white paper you have not very well put together. So with that, thank you, Jason. Thank you to team Vector Coin for being here, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. See ya.